everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Ace Advice. In my last video, I did a singles match analysis, and this time around, I thought I'd do a doubles match analysis, and this actually will be my first time ever doing that, so this is a very exciting video. The match that I decided to analyze is from the Dubai Duty-Free Tennis Championships final. It is Hsieh and Strycova versus Krejcikova and Zheng. And I did look up how to pronounce their names before this video, so I hope I'm pronouncing them right. I actually love doubles so much more than singles, so it was really fun to plan out this video, and I'm actually going to start very simple for this video. I'm only analyzing 3 games and really just talking about some fundamental tactics of a doubles match, just because most people are so used to watching singles, so I thought I'd start very basic for my doubles. Let's get to it. So I first just wanted to show kind of the standard positioning for these games. So you're going to have the server, which in this case is Krejcikova in the top left corner there with her partner in the center of the box, and then it looks like, everyone's kind of on a diagonal facing each other. So then on the flip side we have Hsieh in the bottom right here, just ready to return a serve, such as just like in singles, but then her partner Strycova is actually facing the net player of the opposing team. See how they're kind of facing each other almost, and she's farther back. In juniors, that's because you're watching where the serve lands, so you're calling the ball in or out. In professional tennis, you still stay back there, and then once the point starts, you kind of move forward. And then when it's now the server on the ad side, this is what it looks like. It's basically the exact same thing, but now Hsieh is facing Zheng, and now Strycova's back, but the diagonal format stays the same. Although that's the standard positioning for these doubles matches, that isn't necessarily always how returners will be structured on their side of the net. Sometimes they will actually be 2 back, such as in this case. And there's 2 reasons why a team would want to have 2 back when they're returning. Reason number 1 would be that the server has this insane serve, and therefore the returner's like, well, my return's gonna suck, and therefore the person at the net is going to be slamming my return. In this case, it'd be Strycova slamming Krejcikova's return. And that would just obviously make you lose the point immediately. So a lot of people like to stay 2 back, because then Zheng in the yellow skirt can retrieve the volley that Strycova can hit in this situation. Another reason why a returning team would want to play 2 back is if the teammate of the server, in this case it is Strycova, if they're like the best volleyer ever and they're just so aggressive at the net. Even if the server isn't necessarily the best server, sometimes if someone's really good at the net and they're really good at disguising their movements, the returner feels so much pressure and it can cause them to make a lot of mistakes. When you play 2 back, you can kind of be a little bit more cautious on your return, because then Zheng, like I said in the yellow skirt, can retrieve any volleys that Strycova hits. So it ends up being a really smart tactic if your opponents are really aggressive net players. So just to summarize why a returning team would play 2 back, it's if the server has an incredible serve, or the net player of the server is super aggressive and can hit a lot of really amazing poaches and finish the points early on. So it's very much so a very smart defensive tactic to do a 2 back format. Now, I know I just said the term poach, and basically that means when we're all in that diagonal format, there's the baseliner against the baseliner diagonally, and then the volley player against the volley player diagonally. A lot of the rallies in doubles are cross court, so when you're poaching, that means the net player is cutting off the cross-court rally between the baseliners. That is really important to teach, is when to poach. To start off, it's not effective to poach if your opponent sees it coming. So you can't just start running over across the net hoping to pick off the ball when your opponent's like, well, I'm just going to hit down the line for a winner then. Poaching's kind of about being sneaky. All right, so this is an example of someone poaching. So we're going to have Krejcikova serving here and Zheng at the net, and then Strycova is the one returning. So this is the diagonal format I'm telling you about. So it's just a cross-court rally, right? And then all of a sudden, boom, poach. Now let's watch this again, really focusing on Zheng and her movements at the net. So right now she's just standing in the middle of the box, and now Strycova is going to be the one returning it. And she split steps, realizes she doesn't want to poach on that one. She moves back. She's going to watch Hsieh. Okay, Hsieh's not poaching. Okay. Oh, now I'm going to go. And I know this moves all very fast, so let's look at some freeze frames. So at this point, Strycova is just about to hit the ball, so her eyes are now turning towards the ball and away from Zheng potentially poaching. Strycova would hit down the line here if Zheng was already at the center of the net, but clearly she's not. Zheng's still in the center of her box, and so she doesn't know whether Zheng's going to stay or go. Okay, at this point now, Strycova's really about to hit the ball like any second now. And this is where Zheng can really make her move and start moving towards the middle of the net, because now Strycova's already made her decision to hit cross court. She can't take it back, and now she has to regret her hitting cross court. When you're poaching, you have to remember that every cross-court ball has to cross the center of the net. So when you're poaching, you don't want to go sideways. You want to move forward and towards the center of the net to cut off the ball that's going cross-court. So you can see here Zheng is right on top, the center of the net, taking over the point, basically, just cutting off that ball completely. And obviously now Hsieh just has to be like, well, 99% chance this is going to be a winner from Zheng. Now let's watch it in real time.
I think we've got to go with it.
I agree.
There are also a lot of other considerations to make when deciding whether or not to poach, and there's actually some signals you can look for regarding whether it's a smart time, because sometimes you can poach, but it's not necessarily the smartest move to do in that situation. So I'll do that in a future doubles video. I didn't see many examples of it in the first 3 games of this match, but you can also be doing a lot of fake poaching, which is kind of like reverse psychology, where the person hitting the ball thinks that you're poaching, but you're actually not. You just purposely wanted them to think that you were, and then you're actually staying and they hit right to you, and it's very easy to win that point as well. So in future doubles videos, I'll also show examples of that. A really fundamental piece of playing doubles is that you want to be the team that's at the net. I always hated watching doubles matches where it was basically just a singles match and the people at the net weren't really doing anything, and also the baseliners weren't wanting to do anything either. They were just happy to chill at the baseline, rallying back and forth. My favorite types of matches are where the baseliners want to get to the net, want to be aggressive, because that's actually the most effective way to win points in doubles. In my eyes, it's a race to see which team can have both people at the net first. Here's an example of Hsieh and Strycova winning the point because they were the ones at the net. Doubles is a very reactive game because when you're at the net, there's less time to react versus when you're at the baseline, you have more time to react. So when you're the team where both people are at the net, you're reducing the amount of reaction time that your opponents have, and it gives you the advantage in these points. Examples of it being a really good time to go to the net is when first your opponent hits you a short ball and you can treat it as an approach shot, or 2, you hit a really deep high ball and your opponent's kind of leaning back, and then you can come in during that time that they're waiting for the ball to bounce and land in their strike zone. I'm going to show you an example of Hsieh hitting that really nice high deep ball and not coming to the net, which eventually cost them the point. That was the reason they lost the point? I don't know, but I think if she did go to the net in that point, maybe they would have won.
Well, she talked about
She missed was actually kind of a good miss. It was a smart shot, but if I was her coach, I would have wanted her at the net to finish that point a lot faster. I began this video talking about like the standard formation for a server and a returner, and then also the 2 back. And I'm going to end this video now with another third formation called the I formation. Started doing this a lot more my senior year in college, and I loved it, and I am a big supporter of it, and I want to see it more, and I'm going to show you exactly why it's so effective. Alrighty, so this is I formation. So as you can see, the server is Hsieh right now, and her partner Strycova is in the exact center of the net. And I always hated when my opponents would do this because I'm like, well, as a returner, I have no clue where to hit the ball because you have no idea where the net player is planning on going. And that's what the team doing the I formation communicates prior, to this point starting is, okay, I'm going to stand in the center of the net. Do you want me to go left or right? And then wherever the net player goes, the server goes the opposite way, so they make sure they cover the entire court. And as you can tell, Zheng and Krejcikova are standing 2 back in this situation because, like I said in the beginning of the video, when the net player is being aggressive, you want to give yourself a chance to stay in the point, and therefore you go 2 back. So being in I formation is a very aggressive position, really putting your opponents immediately in that defensive position before the point even begins. It's a very good tactic just to get into your opponent's head as well. So now at this point, Zheng has to figure out whether she's going to hit cross court or down the line. If you're ever playing a team and they're doing I formation, all you have to do is just stick to what you want to do for that return. Don't think about what the net player is doing. If you want to go down the line, go down the line. If you want to go cross court, go cross court. You have to stay very mentally steady in this situation. But of course, it's a lot easier said than done. I would shank a lot, and I'd of course hit right to them a lot. And it's honestly just such a frustrating situation to be in as the returner. Now I'm going to show you examples of I formation working very effectively.
At the net, and she's making life difficult.
Yes.
One thing I really want to emphasize here is that I don't think this is like an advanced thing to do. I think anyone at any level can do this. It's just where you're standing, and then you just pick where you want to end up going. I don't think it should be considered something that only like advanced people can do or professionals can do. I really think that if you just play recreationally or for fun against your friends, like you can try this out. I don't think it's like
too complicated.
From experience, it's so addicting to do, and it honestly makes the game so much more enjoyable. So to sum up this video, I talked about the standard formation of the serving team and the returning team, the 2 back on the returning team, when to poach when the person is just about to make contact with the ball and they don't see what you're doing anymore, and then also being the aggressive team, being at the net first helps you win more points. And then lastly, the benefits of doing I formation. It's like creates mental pressure for your opponents. There are so many more things to talk about when analyzing a doubles match, but I thought that these things would be a good place to start. Hope you enjoyed this video and learned a few things, or at least made you more excited to maybe go out and play some doubles. But yeah, looking forward to the next video, and don't forget to like and subscribe.